China's film market is cooling across the board. 100 billion actor, Xiao Shenyang's new film has grossed only 470,000 yuan. Chen Kuan pulled his release, Wu Jing collapsed, and the myth of main melody blockbusters is shattered. After the Yu Menglong incident, audiences chose silence. No trust, no viewing, no paying. This isn't just a box office winter. It's a collapse of trust. When audiences walk out, the entire entertainment industry is freezing over. Don't miss the next drop. Subscribe and hit the bell. Chinese cinema is really in trouble. Can you imagine? A suspense blockbuster with a 100 million yuan budget takes in less than 500,000 yuan in 5 days. A Best Actor's new film is forced to withdraw with only 30,000 yuan in pre-sales. And Wu Jing, once a screen titan, sees his latest taken under 300,000 yuan and gets mocked by netizens as a collapse exemplar. This isn't an isolated flop, it's the entire Chinese film market collectively dropping the ball. Behind this crash are box office figures, public personas, and above all the total cave-in of one word: trust. Some say Yu Menglong's death was a tragedy. In fact, it was the alarm bell for the entire entertainment industry. Because after that, Chinese audiences changed. They no longer trust stars' tears, no longer believe the so-called main melody, and no longer want to pay for contrived emotions. Today's audience isn't indifferent, they're clear-eyed. They say, we can't change the system, but we can refuse to participate. So here's the question. When even a best actor can't prop up the box office, who can still hold up this market? First, the most typical case, Xiao Shenyang can't carry it anymore. A wave of suspense films has swept the mainland market recently, with one release after another crowding in. The most watched among them was The Shining Mountain Incident, starring Xiao Shenyang and carrying a full 100 million yuan investment. But the heat stayed at the level of production news and budget size. The film opened pre-sales on October 23rd, and a week later had sold only 60,000 yuan RMB. It officially opened on October 31st, and by day 5 the cumulative box office was just 473,000 yuan. The industry's consensus is uniform. This film basically won't recover. Your blood pressure may spike, the box office won't. The storyline isn't complicated. Xiao Shenyang plays Zhang Peng, who returns with a crew to the site of a case from years ago to investigate his friend's disappearance during a mysterious glowing phenomenon. They not only witness the glowing again, but also encounter increasingly eerie supernatural events. Zhang Peng is pushed step by step toward the abyss of unveiling the truth. This time Xiao Shenyang completely abandoned his longtime comedy persona to play an investigator eroded by the unknown, mentally crumbling. The film actually wrapped in 2022, but sat on a shelf for 3 full years before seeing daylight. Shot as a mockumentary with on-location filming in Chongqing, it aimed for more real, more immersive, making it a kind of attempt in the domestic horror space. But in reality, audiences aren't buying it. Some find the pacing sluggish. Others feel the emotional modulation is hollow. Many get stuck at Xiao Shenyang's transition itself. One netizen put it bluntly. Xiao Shenyang turned from a funny guy into a soulless Zhang Peng, drifting around like a walking corpse, just stifling to watch. Mention Xiao Shenyang and many instantly recall the exaggerated performance steeped in its era from the 2009 Spring Festival gala sketch, Not Short of Money. That year he truly went viral overnight, and smoothly crossed into film. Later he worked with directors Zhang Yimou, Kevin Chu Yanping, and others, appearing in commercial blockbusters like A Simple Noodle Story, Just Call Me Nobody, and The Lion Roars 2. The works were uneven, but exposure was massive and resources strong. Coupled with roles in multiple high-grossing projects, his cumulative box office once exceeded 10 billion yuan, putting him alongside Wu Jing, star of Wolf Warrior, The Wandering Earth, etc., on the 100 billion actor roles. But the wheel turns. In recent years, Xiao Shenyang's market performance has visibly avalanched. In 2018 he wrote, directed, and starred in The Faces of My Gene, aka Insect Men of Asia / Jiong Jiong de Naozi, often localized as Menacing Bugs Cross the River, in some reports, with 203 million yuan in receipts, already far behind other 100 billion actors. In 2024 he headlined Prime Suspect, with a budget over 100 million yuan, but only 21.71 million at the box office, directly losing 90 million, called the Mid-Autumn Festival's biggest crash. In 2025, a very special deal, took in 15,000 yuan on opening day and finished at only 110,000, released, yet as if unreleased. And now The Shining Mountain Incident, after several days, has only 400+ thousand. It will most likely never reach 1 million. This isn't a downward trend, it's a cliff. Some summed it up sharp and cutting. Xiao Shenyang turned 100 billion actor into a joke. It's not just him, even best actors can't hold it. How famous was Xiao Shenyang at his peak? Truly a household name. In 2009 he appeared on the Spring Gala as a newcomer. With the line, "I'm a fairly shy person by nature," and a pink blazer, overnight he became a name at every dinner table nationwide. After the gala his heat didn't rise, it exploded. Before he might earn only a few hundred yuan per local show. After not short of money, producers, variety shows, and promoters fought over him. Appearance fees shot into six figures. At his peak, 500,000 yuan per show, and people paid. His national tour even set a 400 million yuan ticketing miracle. At the time, in TV/film, variety, and commercial gigs, if you could book Xiao Shenyang, it wasn't an exaggeration to say, ratings, box office, and attention were worry-free. In 2010 he ranked 30th on the Forbes China celebrity list, and was called a box office elixir. The resources open to maximum. Zhang Yimou's A Simple Noodle Story gave him the male lead, with Sun Honglei supporting. Later he co-starred with Cecilia Chung in The Lion Roars 2, aiming at big-screen commercial routes. But it got awkward, one film after another, yet frequently flopping. Why? On the surface, poor quality. Deeper down, in those roles, audiences didn't see characters, they saw Xiao Shenyang. Tragic roles felt comedic. Comedic roles had a strange awkwardness. His comedy signifiers were so strong they crowded out character space. Audience aesthetics are honest. The Spring Gala filter fades. If the story doesn't work and the acting isn't there, people won't buy it. Thus the yawning gap. The speed of overnight fame is lightning fast, and the speed of falling back to earth is just as fast. Gradually, a cutting verdict took hold. Xiao Shenyang went from box office elixir to king of turkeys. Not only Xiao Shenyang. In today's mainland market, overall box office is weak. Don't think only the new generation can't handle it. Even former top-tier best actor Chen Kuan hasn't escaped. At 49, Chen Kuan's The Bystander was slated for October 25 but pre-sales were dismal. Just over 30,000 yuan in total. 2 days before release, the producers issued a chilly statement. After careful consideration, the release of The Bystander has been cancelled and postponed. We extend our sincere apologies to all viewers anticipating the film, our partners, and theater colleagues. Polite and measured, but the real reason is obvious. The box office couldn't be supported. Platform data show pre-sales at only 38,000 yuan before withdrawal, with 20,000 yuan on day one propped up by fanbot showings. Industry estimates. If they'd pushed ahead, total box office likely wouldn't reach even 500,000 yuan. 5 days later, The Bystander returned. Chen Kuan and his team hoped to flip it on word of mouth. Reality remained cold. 577,000 yuan opening day. 1 million in 3 days. Based on current heat, the final tally will likely stop under 1.7 million. For a best actor who starred in Painted Skin, Flying Swords of Dragon Gate, A Tale of Two Donkeys/Clouds, works once at the industry's pinnacle, this isn't sluggish. It's painfully, glaringly real failure. And more painful still, Chen Kuan isn't alone. Between November 1st and 3rd, multiple new films opened in the mainland, including Post-90s, Girl, Someone Behind You Too, and Deep Affection. And the result? Collective flops. No breakout hits, no spillover effects, no lead who can carry the market. This isn't one actor's problem. It's an industry facing a winter with no end in sight. The most concrete decline, Wu Jing has collapsed too. Speaking of 100 billion actors, we must mention Wu Jing, the very synonym for ticket-selling legend. 2017's Wolf Warrior 2 was hailed as the model of blending main melody and commercial cinema, grossing 5.7 billion yuan. Wu Jing personally netted over 1 billion, became the ultimate patriotic symbol. Then followed with The Wandering Earth, The Battle at Lake Changjin, and Watergate Bridge. Each bigger than the last, cumulative gross surpassing 30 billion yuan. He morphed into the patriotic track's #1 winner, showered with fans and awards, even becoming a vice-chairman of the China Film Association. Who could have imagined that by summer 2025 things would reverse overnight? His new film Goodbye, Bad Guys, with a 50 million yuan budget, withdrew after 6 days with under 300,000 yuan. The revenue share to producers, just over 90,000 yuan, shockingly bad. Wu Jing even promoted it on Weibo, only to be met with a comments section full of snark. Foxy Jing, the box office legend turned box office poison. This time he's truly collapsed. As the embodiment of wolf warrior and nationalist imagery, it took only 8 years for Wu Jing to go from patriotic icon to symbol of falsehood, finally becoming an abstraction. Why is he no longer welcome? Primarily persona backlash. Past slogans are now slapped by reality. For instance, the Chinese passport will take you home, once suggested that little booklet could do anything, but after the northern Myanmar fraud saga and people unable to return during the pandemic, audiences realized it was just a line. Moreover, hotly discussed topics like Wu Jing using an iPhone, driving a Ferrari, and his son attending an international school clash with the patriotic tough guy persona. And the zeitgeist has changed. In 2017, China's economy was still rising. With official guidance, nationalist sentiment ran high. The patriotic screen tough guy fit the audience mood. Today, the economy is down. Young people face unemployment upon graduation and crushing stress. Compared to those who offend China, they care more about rent, wages, and daily life. Characters in main melody films lack flesh and realism. No matter how hot-blooded, they can't sustain the box office. One netizen nailed it. Wu Jing is a businessman selling patriotism, juicing Chinese with propaganda to harvest them as leaks. With the economy down and politics tightening, people have personally felt the party state's concern. Mocking Wu Jing is a risk-hedging stand-in for mocking the CCP. The real winter isn't on set, it's in the audience's heart. Looking at a few actors' ups and downs is still surface level. The deeper backdrop is that amid economic stagnation, the film market overall is cooling. Take this year's week-long National Day holiday. Combined with Mid-Autumn Festival for 8 straight days, supposedly prime time for cinemas to refill coffers. Official numbers surprised people. National Day period total box office. 1.835 billion yuan. Not only did it fail to return to pre-pandemic levels, it fell for the third consecutive year. Back to levels from 11 years ago. Only 50.07 million admissions, meaning, it's not that there's nothing to watch, people just don't want to go to theaters. Looking back at post-pandemic data since 2023 is especially painful. 2.7 billion, then 2.1 billion, and this year even lower, year after year down. Even with main melody saviors like The Volunteers, To the War, and 731, enthusiasm couldn't be lifted. Some once thought, when the economy is worse, film should enjoy cheap joy, like lipstick during recessions. But movie tickets aren't lipstick. A ticket is 40 to 60 yuan. Add metro/taxi plus a milk tea/a meal. Often a single outing is 100 plus yuan. For ordinary people now, that's not casual leisure, it's a purchase to think twice about. Young people truly have it hard. Low incomes, unstable jobs, looming layoffs, rising rents and living costs. Their spending power is visibly shrinking. When real life is stressful enough, if a film can't provide emotional reset, resonance and authenticity, they won't pay for it. Moreover, the public opinion shock triggered by Yu Menglong's fall in September has begun to boomerang on the entertainment industry itself. Over the past 2 months, as discussion swelled, multiple industry bigwigs were alleged to be involved, with the invisible hands pointing to CCP elites. The truly absurd effect of Yu Menglong is this. In an authoritarian system, even grief needs approval, mourning can be criminal, and personal feelings can be political. That's not just emotion, it's a real ache. Some expressed a shift in mindset after the incident. Recently, Xiao Yu's case hit me like a sledgehammer. I never imagined the CCP was so corrupt. In 2025 they still trample lives, call deer horses, gag and smear people, and routinely make those seeking justice physically disappear. The evil exceeds human imagination. What follows is a public turn against film and TV. After Tian Hairong's Fire Seed faced a mass boycott, Fong Li's The Next Typhoon, which he helped produce, suffered the same fate. Comments like these appeared. An artist is gone and you chose silence, then keep being silent. All of China's film/TV should pay for this gag order. No watching, no consumption, in mourning for the kind-hearted Yu Menglong. Boycott entertainment until the truth is out. If the industry stayed cold to his cries for help and tragic death, then accompany him in burial. This is right. Audiences are awake and won't be harvested by capital. I can't control others, but I can control myself. This isn't a simple boycott, but a long-term, gradual yet firm exit. Audiences are no longer mere consumers, they're participants in cultural choice. We may not be able to change the structure, but we can choose not to participate. Conclusion. The root of China's film market winter isn't just the economy and box office, it's the breakdown of trust. When trust fractures, silence becomes expression. Not paying becomes a stance. Dear viewers, do you still want to go to the cinema now? If yes, for what? If not, when did that feeling start? Share your thoughts in the comments.